Hi, this is Len Gocher and Gary Hines, and it's Wednesday, August the 26th. And Gary, we've had a very interesting week. We've got a lot done here on site, but we also had an interesting event with Hurricane Bill. Maybe give us a little update as to how the dome handled during the storm and what's been happening over the last 6 or 7 days.
Well, Len, we didn't get the magnitude of the storm that we thought we were going to get. However, we did get a chance to check our expertise in working the inflation unit, because for those out there who don't know it, when you get over 50 km/h winds, we have to start thinking about stabilizing the dome so that it doesn't slap, flap, and eventually collapse. That means we have to inflate it. So through a number of experimentations over the course of an hour and a half, Len and I were able to figure out how the inflation unit actually works and works best to our advantage. So we did get to weather 70-80 km/h winds, at which time we were inside the dome and we saw how it does move some, but not nearly as much as we anticipated it to be. So we feel a whole lot more comfortable with the product that we've got now that we've had some experimentation.
That's great. So it handled well. And Gary, we're currently inside the ancillary building, which is going to have the dressing rooms and the ice making equipment, the electrical rooms. And they've made a lot of progress here in the last 5 or 6 days. The floor is poured and that. Maybe what we could do is, would you mind taking us a little tour of the place, and we'll see what's happened here in the last few days.
All right, Len, we'll take a little tour and check out the dressing rooms that are being formed presently. Mechanical room, the walls all up and so on. So we'll just take a little scan around here, and then we'll go inside the dome and scan and see the work that's being done in there.
Oh, that's great, Gary. Away we go.
All right, Len, you can see presently you've got your camera focused on where the electrical panel will go. There are thousands of feet of electrical cables to be pulled, and you can see some of the black ones sticking out there now, and you can see that you used a yellow lubricant on them to, in fact, to get them through the conduit to get them into this part of the building. So they have pulled some electrical, and they are going to be working on that panel next week. And Len, if you want to pick it up, you'll see that over on your right hand side the wall is all in that houses the mechanical room, and that is where the ice making equipment will be. We'll take it from a different angle as we go down through the building. Presently the guys are working on the far end, forming one of the dressing rooms and a combination of washrooms there.
Gary, just one quick question. I'm focusing on a bunch of pipes coming out of the floor there. Looks like a pressure test on it.
Yes, Len, those are the pipes that actually provide the in-floor heat that heats this facility. And they do have a pressure test on it. They leave that pressure test for a number of days, and if they get no drop in pressure, then they're safe to proceed with doing their hookups and doing the final steps necessary to provide the heat for the floor and the building. We're standing in the hallway now that provides access to the dressing rooms. You have your camera now focused on the doorways to go into one of the dressing rooms and the washrooms, and you'll see the walls partially constructed there. That will house 2 dressing rooms on that side of the building, and directly behind us there will be 2 more. After we've got the walls completed, we will be painting out the wall in the mechanical room, and hopefully the ice making equipment will start to be installed there on Monday after it's painted out.
Hi, Gary and I are currently inside the dome, and as you can see behind us, there's a lot of work happening on the ice surface floor. Gary, maybe give us a little brief as to what's happening now and what's going to be happening in the next week or two.
Len, the workers behind us are leveling the sand, and once that sand's leveled, it has to be leveled within 3/8 of an inch. Then they will apply 2 2-inch lifts of styrofoam, which you can see in the background, and then there's rebar goes in. Then the 10 miles plus of pipe that carries the effluent that actually freezes the ice. And then when that's finished, there will be some more rebar go on, there will be a steel mesh go on, and then the final application will be the concrete that will actually provide the ice floor.
What's the timing on that? Is that going to be, that sounds like a long process. Will that be, what, a week or two? Or?
Len, I would say within 2 weeks that we should have it all prepped and poured. It will be, within the next 2-3 weeks that we will have that done.
Well, that's great, Gary. Maybe what we can do is just take a quick look around, and you can show us what's going on.
All right. Len's now focused on the styrofoam floor that's on top of the sand that's been brought to grade. That styrofoam is 4 inches thick, as I said. It's done in 2 lifts, and then it's all taped in sections, so there are no gaps, no rises, anything, because that has to be perfectly level within 3 to 5/8 of an inch. He's going to focus now on the guys in the center who are using a laser level and prepping the sand bed to continue application of the styrofoam.
Gary, we're out on the north side of the dome, and as you can see behind us, the new access road is well underway. Maybe you can give us an update on that.
Yeah, Len, we've got it all ready roughed out through to the other end. We've had a little bit of breaker problems this week. Broke some weld on the breaker, so they haven't been able to break out the upper section where we've got some surface rock that needs to be knocked out. But they've got the Y in the road down here by the dome where we separate and go the entrance and then circle the building and take the exit, because it'll be a one-way entrance exit around the building to avoid traffic tie-ups. And next week they'll be continuing on to break that rock out. We should have that road completed probably by the end of next week.
Geez, Gary, they must be just about done that road. They're doing a great job. That's Harbour Construction, is it?
Yep, Harbour Construction. They've been here since the day one when this was just a twinkle in Daddy's eye.
Yeah, I remember that, October the 25th, the first pour. Yeah, they seem to be. The road looks great. Going to be a nice access to the site, and it was a good idea of yours to create that Y in the road for the one way. It's going to work well. So Gary, anyway, it looks like things are really coming along here. I guess we'll be back here in a week or so for another update. Things are happening so fast, we've got to do them on a weekly basis. So from the Rocky Lake Dome, it's Gary Hines, Len Goucher, and it is Wednesday, August the 26th. And we're here with the Rocky Lake Development Association board and volunteers, on budget, on time, on schedule.